Okay, hello everyone. This is June Shalene, and we're going to talk today a little about Clare Scheck-Snyder, who is the woman who is credited with kicking off the walkout, the nationwide walkout of students, which is actually, kind of a way of organizing a bigger, more powerful anti-gun movement. To kill the Second Amendment, in my opinion. So I also have Eric Lieberman, fabulous lawyer, on the line. Hi, Eric.
Hi, June. I'm anxious to hear what you're going to say.
Okay. Well, the first article that caught my eye, and I don't even know why, I just decided, who's this person that's doing this? That I did see one article about her being a longtime CNN employee. So Claire did work for CNN as a producer for about 17 years and apparently left in 2005. So here's an article. Meet Clare Scheck-Snyder of Oh Baby Fitness. Now, the story here is that when I got pregnant, the correspondent I worked with, Dr. Sanjay Gupta, this is all part of her CNN 17-year career, encouraged me to do a series of stories on newborns, right? On the babies, the newborns. He knew I was clueless about becoming a mom and told me to do reports on things I was curious about when it came to parenthood. So one of the stories I did was about losing weight after pregnancy. Now, I just want to say this isn't about newborns. This is about how's mom going to get back into shape. So that's what she's focused on. That's what she focused on. All the experts told me the best way to lose weight was to work out with your baby. And so began her idea to start this business, once again, Oh Baby Fitness. Now, a few other details. So she went flying around, checking out exercise programs around the country, and she decided that, this whole thing called for somebody to start a business. So now she goes into a little confession, okay? After the birth of my baby in 2005, I had crippling postpartum depression. I didn't want anything to do with my child. But being a control freak, I didn't want anyone else to touch him either. A bad situation. Yeah, I would say so, Claire. I would say, so what happened? And she said she struggled for 2 months. I'm like, okay. So the baby is going for 2 months without care? I don't understand. What happened here? I mean, surely, your husband, who she doesn't talk about here, that is Jay Scheck-Snyder, and he's very high-powered guy at CNN, a cameraman who flies all over the country and so on. So these are not poor people. These are well-off people. And all of a sudden, she has a baby, and she's totally depressed. And doesn't want to have anything. That's what she said. I don't want to have anything to do with my baby. And she was a control freak, and she didn't want anybody else to have anything to do with them. I'll just say I knew a person like this, and I saw that baby decline in health. And hopefully something went right here and somebody rescued this baby from this situation. I was actually part of a situation where Eric and I were both part of a situation where we helped rescue a baby from this kind of thing. And it wasn't a 2 months infant. It was, this baby was just over a year. And we saw this baby spiral into horrible emotional state and ill health. And we did what we could. And it seems like we succeeded, I would say, Eric.
Yeah, it was absolutely frightening.
Yeah, it was the same kind of thing. A mother who didn't want to have anything to do with her baby, and she didn't want anybody else to have anything to do with her baby. So this is kind of a subject close to our hearts. So anyway, that said, she admits this, and we're talking about a 2-month-old baby. Then she says, and then finally some people got her to go out and take walks, people were calling her every day, trying to get her out to go for a walk, probably a walk with her baby or something. And so, yeah, eventually some people were able to, where was her husband? I have no idea. She doesn't even talk about that. But she does say friendships and a little Zoloft, which is a psychotropic drug used for people who are very depressed, have suicidal thoughts. I mean, just people who are a real mess. So she went on to Zoloft, and she got this idea to start a business, right? Still don't know what became of the baby. We don't have any information on that. But she got certified to teach prenatal exercise and started this baby business. She mentions here that they're now a national company. They started with one outlet where she was in Georgia, and then that mushroomed to 20 locations in that area. Now it's a national company, so it's huge. I'm not going to go into any more. You can do your own research about, the name of it again is Baby Fitness. So that's really her focus here. One thing I do want to bring your attention to here is in this paragraph. She does say, I didn't want anyone else to touch him either. So she had a baby boy in 2005. And all we know is that, she's telling us for 2 months, I didn't pay attention to him and no one else did either. Now that sounds like a recipe for utter destruction of a kid. So here's a baby boy, right? So I went, whoa, and now you're leading up a movement in order to save children, right? The gun thing, the school thing. So that said, I did a little more research. All right, so I'm going to go and open yet another article here.
Okay.
There's a little publication, Generation News. It's an AP, Associated Press, Atlanta, Georgia. So here she's showing up in this article about Donald Trump talking about Obamacare will explode and about the premiums having risen so much and so on and so forth. So she shows up in this article. I believe this is 2017. Clare Scheck-Snyder, 49, is convinced she's alive today because of it, meaning because of Obamacare. As a small business owner in Decatur, Georgia, she couldn't afford health insurance until the rollout in 2013. Well, that's pretty interesting. She's married to a CNN top photographer who flies all over the world. She worked and with Sanjay Gupta for 17 years. These were wealthy, very wealthy people. Now she here is describing herself as a small business owner in Decatur, Georgia. who couldn't afford health insurance until Obamacare came around. Wow. I'd say that's dishonest at best. Number one, she's not a small business owner, right? This place had 20 locations in her area alone. It's all over the country now. And the other thing is she couldn't afford health insurance. That's silly. You and your husband are wealthy. They're part of the 1%. So she's misrepresenting herself in this little article, trying to make people think that, Obamacare saved her life. She had a double mastectomy and reconstruction surgery. These people are rolling in dough. And then, her daughter had an appendix burst and, it saved their life because she never had insurance until Obamacare came along. Yeah. Okay. So totally dishonest and just going for this agenda. All right. So where else is Claire showing up here?
Hey, June?
Yeah.
One question. When the first article you read, it said she had a son. And now that last article said she had a daughter.
Exactly. I'm getting to that. Yeah. Well, thanks for pointing that out, Eric. I mean, this is a very fishy woman. Here we go. We're going to watch this. Here she's showing up.
I'm 47 years old. I'm the mother of an 11-year-old daughter. I'm a business owner, founded my own business.
Okay, so here she is, the mother of an 11-year-old daughter. Well, that's yeah, the age is right, but now the sex is wrong, right? And the other, the baby that she ignored for the first 2 months of its life, wouldn't let anybody else touch, was a boy. So what happened to that baby? And where did this little girl come from? Who, I'm sorry, the little girl doesn't look like anything like her or her supposed husband, Jay Scheck-Snyder. So let's just keep going. Now, I want you to notice too in this, they show her walking up to her house. She lives in a very wealthy neighborhood in a beautiful home. So once again, this is a woman who is just a small business owner. She has one little shop, right? According to that one article, saying she couldn't afford health insurance until Obamacare came along. And she never mentions a husband or anything, always misrepresenting. And here she is promoting Piedmont health care, and she's obviously loaded. So let's go back.
I'm 47 years old. I'm the mother of an 11-year-old daughter. I'm a business owner, founded my own business, and I'm very active, work out pretty much every day. And I just always go to my yearly visit for a pap smear. I go get my annual mammogram. So I went to my yearly visit with my doctor. She did the breast exam. She didn't feel it. She said, you need to go for your mammogram. And I said, okay, I'll schedule it in the next couple of weeks. And I literally did. If I hadn't had the mammogram, I wouldn't have known that I have stage 2 breast cancer. My first response was like, really? Now, when I'm the most exhausted, is when I have to have the biggest battle of my life? Really? And then I took a deep breath. It's like, yes, I guess I am. It's weird to feel great and healthy and...
Can I just say something here? She contradicts herself. She said, really, when I'm the most exhausted? I mean, and then she says, it's weird to know you have cancer when I feel great.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, she's a mess. She is just a mess. What is it? You feel great or you're the most exhausted. She said the most exhausted you've ever been. I had a baby. The most exhausted I've ever been is when, I was getting up in the middle of the night and breastfeeding and, trying to be the best mother I could possibly be. I was exhausted. Now you're the most exhausted and you feel great. And it's so full of contradictions. Who is this woman? We don't know. Okay, let's keep going.
To be going along in your life and to find out that you have cancer. And I don't feel sick. But if I don't do something about it, it'll kill me. So I have to do something.
And the smile, it'll kill me, smile. I mean, she's so disconnected. I'm sorry. Let's go.
So I had to just pull myself together. The first person that I told.
Okay, the first person that she told, guess who the first, was it her life mate? I mean, isn't that what you would do? No, he was out of town flying around making millions of dollars as a CNN cameraman, apparently. And so she couldn't pick up a phone and call him. So, her daughter was upstairs. So she runs up to her daughter and tells her, right? She doesn't discuss it with her husband first. She just lays it on her daughter, who I thought was a boy, when she had this baby. And, all right, so here's what she says happens. Okay, listen to this. This is pretty good.
Old was my 11-year-old daughter. My husband was out of town traveling, and I would.
And does this little girl look like she came from either of those people? I'm sorry, this is just silly.
Upstairs, and I said, it's cancer. And she looked at me and she said, well, that's good. We know what it is. We'll get it out, and you're going to be okay.
Okay. And here's Claire, the fitness expert. Okay. And her daughter is apparently some sort of a seer. My mom's got cancer, not a problem. Just no, none of this makes any sense. This is like so CNN. This is CNN written all over it, Yeah. Anyway, let's just keep going.
I was just diagnosed a month ago with breast cancer, and a month later, I still feel great. I feel just the same.
You feel just the same? Wait a minute. I thought that you said you were the most exhausted. And now, you just feel great. So more contradictions.
I'd never, ever have known that I had breast cancer if it hadn't been for that mammogram.
Get your mammogram, gals.
Yep.
And in the meantime, you better Google the risk of mammograms. I've never had a mammogram in my life, and I never will, because they're not a good idea, in my opinion. Okay, I'm not giving you medical advice, but if you just Google, mammograms, you'll there's plenty of information out there, and there are other ways of checking your breasts. One is a heat test I took. That seemed pretty harmless. Anyway, let's keep going in this article. Concerned mom, creator of National School Walkout Protests for Gun Control, was top CNN news producer for almost 20 years. So at least somebody's talking about how fishy this gal is. She wants students and teachers across the country to leave their classroom together to protest every child and educator who has been killed in a school shooting and promote gun control. Why? Because she's a control freak. That's why she didn't want anybody touching her baby. She's getting much press about her national school walkout and help from the organizers of the Women's March. Yeah. Wow, people are so gullible. It's depressing. All right. Curiously, when reporters and Sheck Snyder discuss the activist plans and background, they seem always to omit the fact that she worked for nearly 2 decades at CNN as a senior producer, coordinating the same exact type of campaigns for the media as she now proposes, under the banner of concerned anti-gun mom, propelled into action by the deadly Florida school shooting last week. Wait, anti-gun rally and CNN, the gun control cable news network? So this is True Pundit. You can go and read this article. So yeah, yeah. So here's a little list of what she did at CNN. But one thing Eric uncovered, which I never did, was that she also worked as a government spokesperson for the state of Georgia. This is a woman with an agenda. I don't know if she's CIA. I assume, I kind of assume she is, because she was active at CNN for so many years and successful there. And now it seems that they just want to pull her out, either to, promote Obamacare and lie about herself, misrepresent herself. And now this, right? So this is deeply troubling. Who in the heck is this woman? What happened to that baby boy? And why is this little girl who doesn't look anything like either of them being trotted out? I don't know. It's all very disturbing. I think that we need to do a little more Clare Scheck-Snyder watching, and it's just the tip of the iceberg as they move into high gear to try and kill the Second Amendment, because people, the globalists have been backed into a corner. They're very dangerous right now, and so this is just my little way of helping and sounding the alarm. Because we need to restore the Constitution, we need to restore the country, and we need to fight for our freedom. We are in sort of a second revolution here. And for those of you who don't follow Q, I recommend you start doing that. It's a great opportunity to learn about what's going on behind the scenes right now. We are in a revolution, and there are different people to follow. I follow Dr. Jerome Corsi. He has his own YouTube channel, CORSI. Dustin Nemos was great, but he's been taken off YouTube. I think he's still on Twitter, but they're really shutting down YouTubers who are doing the Q work. Q is an insider who is revealing to everyday Americans how things are going as we struggle to save our republic. So I recommend doing that. The website, if you want to read the raw posts by Q, is QAnon, QANON posts, POSTS.com. I don't really go through them. I rely on, Dr. Jerome Corsi and some of these other people. Jerome has a background in intelligence. So this is, Q is actually speaking from that perspective, and it's really a gift. So anyone interested in knowing how the revolution is going or helping out in some way, because we all can help out, even if it's just sharing Jerome Corsi's YouTube things, and following it yourself. There's a great deal of hope, but things are going to get pretty messy for a while. So be blessed, everyone, and thank you so much for listening. June Shalene and Eric Lieberman signing out.